Hi everyone, this is Penguin Trades, and this is a review for the ES and NQ futures for September 3rd. This is our overnight high up here, and this is our overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. As you can see, it was pretty dry today on the ES. NQ was better, this right here, but we'll get into that when we get into it. So we're going to start off on the ES here as normal. So starting off, overnight high, this is our overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here, just as we started breaking out. And so starting off, we have this downtrend, which has a break. Now, when a downtrend has a break, you can expect prices to attempt a new low. Now, as we break here, we start forming our overnight low level. This is very clearly forming our overnight low. Can't get through that level. And as we start to attempt to push up here, price just keeps on pushing down, forming this range. So even though this downtrend has a break, and it's going into this range right here, if price breaks out of it, that's still part of the break, because as soon as it broke, it just kept going sideways. If we push up here, then we can look to get a couple attempts lower. And so if we get that here, like say from here we push up and get 2 attempts down, what that would include is, for this downtrend, it would be downtrend, break, and then these would be our 2 attempts at a new low right here. And so we'd be able to get long on a failure entry, because from the low count, it would be first entry short, second entry short, failure. But from the top count, it would be downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. Even though it has a big separation between it, that's just because price went into this range. Price hasn't really made any attempts down. On a very small picture it has, because after the break, you have this little, downtrend, break, little push to a new low, and then price attempts to reverse. Now, that's a very small picture, and this reversal did not, it didn't succeed. It ended up just pushing right back down and going sideways. And so you can still get a bigger picture break is the point. And so anyway, it doesn't happen here. And if it doesn't offer that, you break out. There's a couple things that could happen. Price could either fade back in and again still possibly offer a reversal pattern, a failed second entry, or price will hold on the low side of the overnight low, and then you want to look to get short. Now, in this case here, as we break out, we get this little fade attempt here, and then here we got another fade attempt. But what you want to see is 2 attempts to fade from a new low. And so here you have a new low. You make 1 attempt to fade, and then it immediately pushes down to a new low. You get 1 attempt to fade, immediately pushes down to a new low. You want to see 2 clear attempts to fade, a second entry, because if you get 2 attempts to fade and it's holding on the low side, you can look to get in on the failure. Second entries, they don't just form out of nowhere. They form from price attempting to reach things, pushing off of the EMA, pushing into key entry points, pushing into magnets, such as these key levels, which act as magnets. And so that's why failure entries work. So you want to see 2 attempts to fade, so that way you can get in on the fade failure. But in this case here, it just doesn't happen. It just continues on lower here, going in this thin channel. Obviously, at first, these lows are like this, and these highs are a little bit like this. And then as price keeps barely breaking out, we can look to extend it. And so we're in this downtrend right here. No clear shorts on the way down, no good second entries, just another first entry here. But then here we finally get a second entry. So first entry short, second entry short, 2 legs up right there. On a bigger picture, it's obviously 1 leg, but you can still see the separation of the legs. But it doesn't hold off the key entry point. It doesn't hold below the EMA. It very bullishly pushes above, and then you get this signal bar closing above. Now, this right here, like there's often times when you're in a little trend and you get an overshoot, you can look to short to the other side. Again, I don't like that here because it's not off of anything, but I wouldn't want to enter directly into it and also the lows at the same time by entering under this bar here. So I didn't like entering there. And then here we push lower here, we make this lower high. Now, the reason I don't like this lower high is, for one, we make this new low right here. So this is a new low. On the low count, it's just a first entry that is bullishly pushing above the EMA with a very good bar, almost closing on its high. So it's not like you have uptrend, break, new high, because you did make a count reset right there, making its own new trend, which is clearly having a good spike up. So that's why I don't like that lower high right there. But it does end up pushing down. It does end up working, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a good trade. So anyway, we push on lower here. As this measured move is met, price starts to get a little bit of a reaction from it. And then price attempts to reverse, but obviously unsuccessfully. It holds down on the EMA here. But this point, it's not like it's a runaway downtrend. It could still fade back into the overnight high. if you get a good reversal pattern, you can look to take a long. You just need room to the other side of this channel right here. So it'd be first entry short, second entry short, and then you can look to get in on the failure. And so look to get in on the second leg up there. But again, you do need room. But when you come off one side of a channel, you can expect price to attempt to reach the other side. Obviously, at first, this channel was, which let me fix this, it got slightly out of place. Slightly more up, angled like that. And then at first, this low is right off of that swing there. And then this was an overshoot, slight overshoot, slight overshoot. But if you get a slight overshoot and then it just kind of continues to do that, you can just look to extend the channel. And in this case here, it fits pretty well. And so either way, whether it's a bounce or a tiny overshoot, you can immediately expect a possible reversal pattern. But in this case here, it doesn't happen. Another thing I want to mention is on reversal patterns like this within a trend, it is common for them to not set up very well because of the bias of the trend. If that happens, then you just want to skip it. If it can't hold above the EMA, then you just want to skip it. You need to see a good reversal pattern. So anyway, it doesn't happen here at all. We just continue on lower here, right at that EMA, it continues on down. Now, I just want to mention here, even though this downtrend has a break and a couple attempts at a new low, that doesn't mean that this whole entire move down still isn't part of the same trend. You can look to extend this because it's not like it's an enormous break or anything, and this is clearly still part of the same downtrend. And so you have this downtrend, right here you get a break, we have this uptrend going towards it, and then I don't like this lower high. Again, this downtrend just had a break. Yes, we can expect price to attempt a new low, but you still have to consider this uptrend right here. Okay, so uptrend, break, first attempt higher. This is only your first attempt higher, and it's not that significant. Price could easily tick lower, make a more significant break, and have a bigger push to a new low. So you just don't know that it's going to work right there. It's just a little risky, so that's why I don't like it there. But we push on lower here. Notice that from this break, we get 2 legs down, perfectly measured to the tick, and then price immediately reverses up. So unfortunately, nothing clear on the way down as we push lower here. If we pushed a bit lower, we'd have more room. If we just got 2 clear legs up right there, I'd like to see a good push lower, 2 clear legs up, and then look to get in on the second attempt lower. But after that first leg, it just kind of went sideways a bit. That second leg is directly sideways next to it, doesn't have any good signal bars, and it just continues on chopping. So I just would have liked to see 2 bigger legs up with a better reaction. But anyway, we push on lower here. Right as that measured move is met, price immediately starts reversing. First it struggles with the EMA, but it quickly pops above. And so now we have uptrend, break, and then first attempt higher, second attempt higher. So the uptrend is played out with 2 clear attempts at a new high. And now this trend right here, it's barely breaking it, but it does quickly push lower. It's basically, sorry, I keep clicking off here, but it basically holds right off of it. Barely broke out right there, quickly fading down in this range. Again, when you break out of a range, you can expect price to attempt to fade. So considering the fade, considering this wider channel here, and the fact that this uptrend has played out, this looks like a great short, but as you can see, limit order, no fill. You have to consider these lows right here. This was a very clear range. You have to consider these lows. Now, I didn't like entering right here above because it wasn't, even though it just wasn't necessarily off of anything. Even though we have this downtrend right here and it's pushing back below here, you don't know that it's holding until after it pushes back in, which was at this point here with this circled bar. And so that's why I did not like going short all the way up there, because you just don't know that it's going to go down from there. And then here on this next bar, it's not a good sign that we got an EMA rejection and then it closing halfway up. So that's why we had to wait for this bar here. But if you wait for that bar, as you can see, you'd have to push your target so far out of these lows right here, which is why limit order, which of course in this case resulted in a no fill. So anyway, I like the way it looks here, but it's just one of those days where there's nothing all day, and then as soon as you try, it's a no fill. So some days are just like that. It's usually not like that, but don't let days like this discourage you if this is how it was for you today. It's all just a part of trading. So anyway, we push on lower here. We get this leg down. At first you can kind of see here there's a failed second entry. Starting from here, we have first entry long, second entry long, failure, but obviously you're pushing directly into the lows right here. So that's not a good trade. what you'd like to see on a reversal pattern is a push lower, 2 clear legs back, not a downtrend break, new low, and then a failed reversal right there. So that's just not a good failed second entry. Now anyway, we push on lower here, price attempts to reverse again, gets held down by this EMA and the trend line. It's just a first entry. It's not really anything off the other side of the count. It's just a, it pushed higher after this F2E. And so nothing to take here. Push on lower, quickly pushes back up. And now here, this is clearly a separation from this leg here. So all of these legs form this one leg on a bigger picture. And then this much more significant push up than all of these is the break from that. And so you have this push down, break, second push down. So this is a two-legged move right here. Now, it happened right as this got this little break right here, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this trend is completely out of play because it's barely a break. It's still right alongside it. So you can look to extend the trend line and see how price holds. Price has been struggling to continue lower in the channel. There's clearly some kind of support right here. So it looks like this channel is very soon going to break. It's already broken again right here. There's a chance that it could hold from here and continue lower, but there's a very clear support level right here, so it looks like it's likely going to break out. If not, we'll need to pierce through it, and what I'd like to see if price does push on lower is sharp push lower, showing that price has breached this support level, and then 2 clear attempts back in order to get in on a big failed second entry. So like a push lower, couple legs back, that would form a failed second entry off the highs, and it would be 2 attempts to reverse, and then you'd be able to get in on the failure, which is what a failed second entry is anyway. It's a failure entry. And so anyway, that's what I'd like to see there. Push lower, couple legs back. But anyway, so I kind of lost where I was, sorry. Oh yeah, let me just drag this trend line back to where it was. So anyway, we have this 2-legged move down. We continue lower. Unfortunately, there's no clear entries on the way down. Now, like I said, I didn't like anything there, but then after this separation, you can look to get short again because you're clearly, as you push lower, that's when it's clear to see that you're making a 2-legged move. If you push lower and make a good failed second entry, then you can look to get short. But in this case here, from the top, we make a failed second entry. You can see here, first entry long, second entry long, failure. But it's clearly finding resistance from this swing right there, which is finding resistance from over here. Clearly, there's just some support right here that you don't want to enter right into, especially after the failed second entry just set up completely sideways right there. So I did not like that right there. It does end up working, as you can see, but that doesn't necessarily make it good. So we push on lower here. This measured move is met. As soon as it gets met, it starts to get a little bit choppy sideways. It's clearly reacting to it, has one push off of it. And then as soon as we reach it right here again, price has another spike off of it. So it looks like it could just be attempting to reverse from here, possibly have a huge push up with a couple legs back to look to get long on a failure. But that's not what happens. It very quickly takes back everything that it just pushed up. And then, it's really just going sideways right here. Push up, push down, push up, push up, really nothing to take. So price just needs to leave this area. It's clearly struggling to push lower than this resistance level. There's clearly some support right here, but it's also not able to reverse higher, so it's really just going sideways. So price just needs to do something, either push lower, make a couple legs back, or push higher and make a couple legs down. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to hop over to the NQ and we'll go over that. So again, overnight high, overnight low. These are our key levels for the day. I started trading at 8 Central Time, the exact same time. And so anyway, we have these 2 legs down here. Much more clear on the NQ with these 2 legs. It was really just a downtrend on the ES. As you can see here, really just 1 leg down. So anyway, I'm going to stop flipping back and forth. So we have these 2 legs down right here. At that measured move, price starts finding resistance, and then we end up forming our overnight low right there. Price goes into this channel. It's kind of a choppy channel, but it's still there, as you can see. Has a small break, little attempt at a new high, and then price just plummets on down. So nothing to take in here. As we push out here, this is a good place to look for, again, a fade failure to get in on the short, to get in on the breakout. And so if we push lower here, get 2 clear attempts to fade, we can look for a short. However, when we break out here, we only get this entry here, 1 attempt to fade, and then it just continues on lower. So unfortunately, we don't get that here. We continue on lower, we get this downtrend, break, new low. As soon as this downtrend plays out with a break to a new low, price makes 2 legs up, attempting to reverse. Now, it was pretty borderline because there is clearly 2 legs there. It's clearly a 2-legged move. However, on a slightly bigger picture, that is 1 leg. That is clearly forming a channel right here. And so that's why I liked waiting on this lower high. And so it is only 1 attempt at a new high right here, but we did just have a reversal failure after a downtrend played out. So downtrend, break, new low, 2 attempts to reverse, failure, very bearish lower high below the EMA. I really liked this. It was still clearly a 2-legged move, and it was just borderline. I didn't want to enter right off of it because it wasn't off of any resistance. It did meet the measured move, but again, with that channel right there, I didn't want to just enter short as soon as it pokes out of it there. I just wanted another clear swing. Now, if you saw this in real time, this freaking plummeted like a rock right here. A lot of slippage, but it's more like that. But anyway, we push on lower here. Now you can see on a bigger picture, and you have to spot this in real time in order to really get it, but do you see how this downtrend has a break and its new low and then 2 attempts to reverse, right? Now this reversal right here failed. It did not go very far. It very quickly went lower again. And so what that means is you have to look for bigger structures. This downtrend with its break to a new low on a bigger picture is just 1 leg down. So this is just 1 leg right here on a bigger picture. As soon as this reversal fails, this becomes 1 leg. And then this reversal attempt becomes the bigger picture break. So now you have, from here, downtrend, break, and then this is the start of the second leg down. And as you can see, that occurs in a 2-legged move, but on a bigger picture, it's still 1 leg down here. Notice that measured move is perfectly, meeting with what these 2 legs are meeting with this bigger picture one. It's not always going to be perfect like that, but very commonly it is. So you have to be able to spot these bigger picture moves. I hope that's clear. I'll kind of go over it again just for anyone who's new. But the downtrend played out with a break and a new low. Price attempted to reverse. The reversal failed and therefore became just a break between these between these larger legs down. And so just because you get a little break to new low, if it doesn't reverse from there completely, then you have a bigger leg in play. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, we push on lower here, make those couple legs down, forming the bigger picture 2-legged move down. And on the way down, unfortunately, there just wasn't any clear shorts. We push on lower here, starts to get a little bit sideways. We make this new low, get this sharp push up. Even though we get this bearish reaction, it is just from this first entry right there. Let me adjust the trend line to how it was at the time. So starting from here, off that swing, off this swing, it is off that trend line. It's off this, kind of forming this range right here. It's not super clear, but there is clearly sideways action. I did not like how bullish that push up was from a new low, because again, downtrend, break, new low. You can commonly get a reversal, even if you don't get the second leg down yet. It's still common to reverse. So when you see a huge push up like that, a very clear push up like that, then that's indicating a reversal. So I did not want to go short right there. But it ends up pushing on lower. We make that second leg down, and then we start to push up shortly before reaching the measured move. We get a break, and so now this downtrend, which you could slightly extend it from that slight break there, but it's a more clear break here, continues on lower. So downtrend, break, new low. However, that is a very small break, and very easily you can extend it and just see how price reacts to it, because more than likely this tiny break is not going to lead to the play out of this entire channel. So anyway, we continue on lower here. Now just notice this here with this wider channel, this trend line right here, we start to overshoot, but we're still within this blue channel. Overshoots tend to lead to breaks. They lead to sharp spikes in the opposite direction. It's common to get reversal patterns within a downtrend after overshoots. And so, but at the time it's holding on it here, we start to overshoot. And then as soon as we reach the low of this channel here, that's when it starts to get choppy. You want to start looking for a long, because again, overshoots lead to breaks. But if you get a good reversal pattern, you still have to worry about this trend line right here. So you can't enter into that one either. And so it would have to be able to break this channel right here on a, basically a much bigger failed second entry or reversal pattern. But we continue on lower here. We push off these lows a bit. We finally start to get a reversal. Nothing clear on the way up. You don't want to enter right into these trend lines. We have this uptrend, and then you can see there's a couple legs back there. And so someone might view this as a reversal pattern, but this is obviously a very horrible one. Push up, 2 legs back right there. That's not a good reversal pattern. It can't hold above the EMA. It's right into that trend line. Absolutely no way. It only has a slight push up from that, and then we start to push down again. And so unfortunately, we did not get a good reversal. We didn't get a good long, and also no shorts either, because as you push up here, coming off one side of a channel, and you're expecting price to reach the other side, you want to see 2 attempts to reach the other side. At this point here, we have our 2 clear attempts up. So first attempt to reverse, second attempt to reverse, failure. Unfortunately, it was just pretty choppy and in a confusing area given all these trend lines, so I did not like entering short right there. But we push on lower here. We start to make this double bottom. It starts finding resistance here. Oh yeah, the reason I have this marked right here in this blue circle is because considering this, that we're clearly finding resistance right here, right after this overshoot, and price has this spike up right here, this is an area that you could get a reversal pattern. You just need room to the highs right here. But clearly the bearishness of this day ended up keeping price lower. It was unable to make a reversal pattern from there. But I was just thinking this is, a common area to happen. Clear support right there. And, we have a good spike up. But that did not last very long. Quickly pushed back lower here. Started getting choppy. You can see from this break, so this channel here, so downtrend, break, first leg lower, then this push up right here. Like I said, the reversal attempt, since it was unable to reverse, it became merely a break, okay? So at first what was downtrend, break, push to a new low, reversal attempt, that failed, so now it's just a bigger picture break between a 2-legged move. So here you start that second leg down. Now, when you start a second leg down, obviously you do want to look to get short to make that second leg down, but with the area that you're in here, right into the support, there's really just nothing to take. So, nothing in this area here, kind of a dry day for both markets really, but some days are just like this. And, with the way I trade, I like to, have 1-to-1 risk to reward, and I just didn't see anything else worth taking that, safely for my risk to reward that I like. So, sometimes days are just like this. Don't get discouraged on slower days. Yesterday was a holiday, could easily have to do with that. So anyway, let's just continue on here. We push on lower here, very choppy, but it is still clearly making a second leg down. And again, these attempts to reverse are not making any progress here. It's really just going sideways, kind of, just a confusing area really. You can try to draw out a range right here, see how that holds. But really, I just want price to leave this area and just do something clear. For instance, if we get 2 clear legs up right here to the key entry point, then we can look for a short again. And even from here, considering how low we've pushed from this resistance right here, we can get a reversal pattern as long as we have room. And I know, this can confuse people because this is a big downtrend, and why would you want to take a long in a downtrend? But you can, if the context is right. If you get a good reversal pattern, you just simply need room, and it really does have to be a good reversal pattern. It can't just be, it can't just be a to the tick failed second entry. You need to see a clear push up, 2 clear legs back that are only holding to the bullish side the whole time. So, but yeah, if generally you don't want to counter trend trade because the trend has a heavy bias. Any type of long, you already have a bias against you, so you need a clear reversal pattern. I'd like to see it push off of the low again, just as another form of support. But ideally, what you'd get in this area is just an opportunity for a short. We could push up with a couple legs, that way you get your 2 attempts up, and then push back below, easily push into another failed second entry to continue lower. Or even a trend line reaction up here, 2 clear legs up. Even if you don't get an entry right off of the 2-legged move up, it could push lower into a smaller entry, possibly a lower high or a failed second entry. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope it helped out. We're at almost 25 minutes here, so I'm just going to end it here. Got through both days here, so I just hope this helped out, and thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.